Hi guys, we'll start in just a minute. Let me bring up my screen. Is my voice clear? Uh, I can see that you guys are saying that there is some echo. Okay, so let's start with the presentation. So today we are going to learn about Flutter, why Flutter exists, and how can we use Flutter to build some awesome apps that will run on like any platform. So you name it, like Android, iOS, web, desktop. So Flutter supports each and every platform as of now. So who am I? So I am a Flutter engineer on the Connect app and Explore team. And let's get started with Flutter. So why Flutter? So why Flutter? Basically, Flutter was designed to build some like we already had some really awesome frameworks like React Native or Ionic or Cordova if you are coming from mobile world, but then they were bringing hybrid apps to the platforms. So Flutter runs with the 60 frames per second with native and Android and iOS, and most importantly, Flutter is not a web view. So basically we are not showing the app inside a web view, which was typically how other frameworks worked as before, or they used a JavaScript bridge to just contact the platform and render the UI. But with Flutter, it is fast. It is fast because it has its own rendering engine. So basically it doesn't matter on which operating system you are running your Flutter app. The rendering engine is the Flutter's native rendering engine, that is Sky, which is also a rendering engine for Chrome. So since Chrome runs very fast on each and every device, you name it, it's iOS or web or anything. So Flutter is also based on the same rendering engine, and that's why it is like really fast, and it's beautiful because it uses the inbuilt material design. So let's see how Flutter works exactly. So we have our Flutter app, and in Flutter, everything is basically a widget. So widgets are used to render the UI onto the platform. So basically, what Flutter does is it compiles its Dart code, and then it uses a canvas to draw the UI stuff. So that is really fast. And if you want to contact with some native services like location or audio or camera, we can use platform channels in Flutter. So basically, platform channels are just a connectivity way where you can connect your Flutter app to your native code. So now what happens is we don't have to write separate apps for Android and iOS. It happened earlier that teams needed Android developers separately and iOS developers separately, but now with the multi-platform technologies emerging up, Flutter is really a good way to go with uh, multi-platform apps that can run on Android or iOS or web. So Dart language, the language that is used to run on Flutter is the Dart language. If you guys are familiar with JavaScript or Java or any other object-oriented programming language, so Dart is has a very less learning curve. It is basically Java and JavaScript combined. The best features of JavaScript and Java and all the other object-oriented programming languages are inbuilt in Dart. So let's see some code now. This is a can you guys see the code here? You can just comment down in the chat. Okay, sure. So this is basically a Flutter app that I have created just now, and ignore these classes right now. Let's create a simple file. Let's create a file which will be our demo.dart. So this is just a Dart file to tell you all like how Dart works exactly. So we have a class here. Let's say demo. So you guys can see that this is just a class, and it is similar to how you write classes in TypeScript or in Java or any other object-oriented programming languages. So the Dart syntax is really simple. Then we can write a constructor here. So as you can see that every classes have a constructor. In JavaScript, you just write the word constructor like this. In or if you are writing Java, it is something similar kind of syntax. So every Dart class has a constructor, and you can definitely omit this also. It doesn't give you any error on that. If you need the constructor to initialize anything, you can definitely use it. So let's delete this file, and come to our main Flutter app. So before like creating this Flutter app, let's see uh, where we can get the Flutter SDK. So we can go to the flutter.dev website, and here you can see that we have a docs tab here, and here you can read all the documentation of getting started and installing the Flutter on like whatever operating system you are using. So basically I'm currently using Mac and I already have it downloaded, so I won't re-download it because it's 2.8 GB, so it will take quite some time. You can go to through these steps and install your Flutter SDK on your machine. And to check if Flutter is installed or not correctly, we can just go to terminal, and you can simply write Flutter doctor. So this will give you a summary kind of thing, and it will like tell you which Flutter version you have installed and what is your operating system currently, and do you have all the Android tool chain or Xcode, and we have Chrome for development of the web. We have Android Studio latest version. We have VS Code also latest version. So So Flutter Doctor will tell you that there are no issues found in your Flutter SDK. So we can just go ahead with the uh, building Flutter apps. So to create this Flutter app, there are basically more than one way where you can how you can create a Flutter app. Either you can go with the UI approach, but I prefer the terminal approach. So you should also like go with the terminal approach only. So once you have installed Flutter and everything is up on your system, you can just go to the terminal, and you can just go to the terminal, and there you have all you have to do is you have to write Flutter create, and then you have to write the name of your app. So let's just create words pair. So what this will do is it will take the Flutter SDK and it will create a Android app and an iOS app, and it's done. So your basic app is created. Let's go to that app, and yeah, so I'll open this in Android Studio. You can use VS Code also for that, or IntelliJ, whichever IDE you prefer. It's totally up to you. So I will open it in Android Studio because I'm quite familiar with the IDE, and yeah, that's my favorite IDE. So this is the app that we just created. So if we go to the project structure and just open this folder, we can see that we have a Android folder, we have a iOS folder, and then we have a live folder, and a test folder, and a web folder. So coming to these files, you can ignore git ignore is used to ignore the files that you don't want to commit on GitHub. And this .idea folder is basically something native to the IDEs. So if you are creating it using VS Code, there might be .vs code folder. Then we have a pubspec.yml file. So this is the one of the main files where you can add your version number and your environment, and then you can add dependencies here. So as you can see that we have the Flutter SDK dependency, which is coming from Flutter. And for development dependencies, we have Flutter Test SDK Flutter. So Flutter Test package is also coming from the Flutter SDK. The main code that we write lies inside the lib folder. So if you open the lib folder, you can see that there is a main method here. So if you guys have done any kind of programming, like you know that every for running any program we have a main method that is used to start the program. So this main method runs the dart code, and this run app which is coming from Flutter. So this method is used to bring up your Flutter app. So let's just run it on our iPhone simulator. It will take some time. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, like you can write in the chat. So I told you guys earlier that Flutter is multi-platform. So we can run it on web also. So I will change the target here in Android Studio to Chrome, and we will run a new app. So that will launch our app on Chrome. Let's see. So I guess our iOS app is ready. Yeah. So this is just a basic app which Flutter provides by default. Uh, this is just a counter app. If you click on this button, it will looks like our Chrome app is also up. So you can see that we are running the same app from same code base in iOS and in Chrome. We can also use Android here, but my device is discharged, so let's just focus on these two. It will run totally the same on Android also. So you can see that if we run it on Chrome, it is acting like a website and a web app. So let's just go through the code. So you can see that we have our main method from which the Dart code runs, and then we have the run app method which starts our Flutter app. So let's go to the class which is my app. This extends a stateless widget. So I told you guys earlier that in Flutter everything is a widget. So basically widget is nothing but just a layout system. So the initial widget is a material app. So material app is basically used to provide theming and other details to your app. Now suppose why Flutter is fast. So the development time using Flutter is quite less as compared to any other technologies that we use, because it supports hot reload. So what is hot reload? Now let us suppose that our designer comes to us and says that we don't like this blue color, let's change it to red. So you will just have to go here and you will have to change this to red. And now our current target is Chrome. So if we hot reload it, then we can see that okay, let's see which what is our current target. So we have reloaded the iPhone 13 uh, app. Now let's reload the Chrome app also. So you can see that it's blazing fast to develop. You did not do anything else. And the plus point is it maintains the state. So basically, you push the counter three times here on iOS. So it is maintaining this state. It is not losing the state. So suppose you are somewhere in the middle of filling a form and then you need to change something and see it immediately. So you don't have to refill all the forms and to see those changes. You can just see it immediately. If you go through the name of the widgets, like some widgets are can be a little bit confusing initially, but for most of the part you can make it out. Like for most of the part you can make it out like what the widget actually does. So basically scaffold is something which is used to wrap our app, and we can use the navigator system using scaffold. So this can be something new to you guys, but if you are coming from like web background, or if you just look at the widget's name, so here is a app bar. So you can see that what app bar means. App bar is basically the top bar that we are showing in our app, and it shows a title which is a text widget. So these all things are widgets. So currently it is showing the title which is passed from the above build widget. So my app widget is passing the title as Flutter demo homepage. So let's just ignore that and change it here. Let's change it to HACXMAS. Okay. Now you see that there is some line showing here. So what does if we inspect this, then it will say that add const modifier. So let's add it. Now what actually it does. So while building the app, what Flutter does is it will look for these const constructors and see if if we are using the same text widget with the same value anywhere else inside our app. So it will not rebuild the text widget again and again. It will just build a single text widget and it will reuse it everywhere. So that improves the performance of the app. Now let's just hot reload it again and see the changes. So we have it here. Now let's change the target to iOS and update it there also. For now, I will just close this Chrome app and we will start building a Wordpairs app on iOS only. So let's just close this. So now we have our iOS app ready. Let's delete all these stuffs. and just replace it by a text widget. Demo words pair. Let's add a const constructor here. We'll remove this floating action button also. So we'll just go and find it out here and just remove it. Now our main app contains just these things. So we have a scaffold which is used to display the navigation system, and then we have a app bar which contains a title, and we have a body where we have a center widget. So this center widget, as you can see from the name only, that it will align the child to its center. Let's remove this. Yeah. Now, what if you want to add something like Flutter does not give you everything out of the box. So for that, we have a website called Pub. So basically, if you are coming from JavaScript world, you know that there is npm. So just like that, Pub is something which contains packages for the Dart language. So here we can just go and search. Suppose you want to add location, you can search for location. It will give you a bunch of packages. You can see the location here, you can see the pub points and popularity here, so that you know which package you can go with. And then there is this geolocator package. So if you go to the page of any package, you will get a bunch of documentation and how to set it up and use it. So this is just an example for geolocator, which is used to access location and other location details. Now, the package that we are looking for is English words. So we'll just copy it here, and then we will go to our pubspec.yml. So if you are coming from again JavaScript world, then we had package.json there, where you put all the dependencies and other packages details there. So similarly we have yml file here, pubspec.yml, and here we can add the dependency that we just copied. So in JavaScript, you needed to do npm install after adding any dependency to package.json. Here you can run pub get. So basically, pub get is Flutter. You can either run it from here, or you can just run Flutter pub get. That will also do the same thing. So our package is installed in our app, and let's go and use it now. So we'll go to the pub.dev and see how we can use this package in our app. So see, there are like quite some examples given here, but still not everything is given. So you can go to the example and see that there is this method provided by this package for generating word pairs. Let's just use a let's use something else right now. So we will create a variable here, and we will use the package that we just installed, and we'll use the random method on that package. So this word pair is coming from the English words package that we just installed. Now let's just print it here. Print word pair. It's giving error because okay, we cannot initialize the constructor here. We need to initialize in it in a method. Let's remove the const here because it was because the text is not const anymore. I guess this should work. Yeah. So the error was that we had added const constructor here, but the value that we were passing was not a constant value. So let's hot reload it and see if it's work. So it will give you hot age. Okay. Let's reload it again. Let's see. So this has not changed. Why this has not changed? Whenever you do a hot reload, the state is maintained. So this word was created and then this build method was called. So whenever you hot reload, this build method is called again. So the word pair did not change. But if we just change it and move it here inside the build method and we hot reload it again, so you can see that the word is updated and it's blue dirt now. Now what we can do is let's just create a list view where we have this list of word pairs. So for that we have the list view widget which is provided by Flutter itself, and it has basically two three constructors which we can use. So we will use the listview dot builder constructor. This provides you with item builder method, and if you go to the function of this widget, then you can see it takes a type of indexed widget builder, and this function takes a build context and a index. So let's just pass a build context here. So context and a index, and this is showing error because we need to return a widget from here. So this function returns a widget. Now what we have to do is we'll return a widget, and this will create a infinite list because we have not passed any item length limit here. So what we can do is there is a item count uh, variable that this builder takes, and let's make it to 10. Let's remove the center widget from here. So this method, like this utility, is provided by each IDE, and it comes with the Flutter SDK only. So even if you are using Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ, you can just hover on the widget, and these bunch of options will appear. So I can just directly remove this widget from here, and let's see if this works or not. So we have 10 mild goals here. One, two, three, four, five. Now this is definitely not looking good at all. So what we will do is we will add some padding too. these text. So let's add a padding here. The padding is also a widget, and it takes a padding argument. Let's see the return type of this argument. So this is edge insets geometry. So let's write it here. Edge insets dot all. Let's give equal padding of 10, I would say. And then this padding widget will have a child widget that will be our text widget again. Let's use the const constructor and save it. So we have a slight padding here now. Now this does not look good still. So what we can do is we can use cards here. So basically, let's add a card. Now, how do you know like which widget you want to use, or how is there any widget available also or not, or just like I am working with Flutter, so I know that there is a card widget. But how do you guys know that there is a card widget? So for that, you can just go to this Flutter documentation. You can go to the docs, and inside docs there is this widget catalog option. So here you can find all sorts of widgets that are provided by Flutter inbuilt. So basically, so for layout, we can see like there is align widget, aspect ratio, baseline. So all these things are like very well documented inside the Flutter documentation. So you won't be stuck anywhere. You can just go to this Flutter documentation and get anything from here. So we have a padding widget here, we have a size box. So these are the layout widgets. We can see other widgets also, like let's see material components. So we have a app bar, we have a bottom navigation bar. So you can like go to all these widgets and see there are plenty of widgets, there are tons of widgets. You won't need to build any widget on your own, and even if you need to, that is very simple. You can use these widgets to build your own widgets. Now let's just create a card here and format this. So now let's see how this looks. So we have a card here, and we have a padding of 10, but we don't have any spacing between the cards here. So let's add some spacing between the cards. And this word is changing every time we do hot reload, because we are using the word pair inside the build method. So every time we hit hot reload, Flutter will rebuild this build method, and that's why we have everything being built here, rebuilt here. Now, what you can do is you can take out this card widget and you can create your own widget out of this. So let's go to lib folder and create a new file here, and we will name this file as wordpair card. Okay, and there is a shortcut available in all IDEs. So uh, if you type STLESS and hit enter, it will create a stateless widget for you out of the box. So we have word pair card, and then you need to import these things from material. Now inside this text widget, we want to pass some data, right? So this data will be different for each of the cards, and for that we can take a input here, which will be a string, and we'll see value, and then inside constructor we will have to accept this value, and this will be a required argument. Why this will be required? Because it is required by the text widget, so it cannot be null, otherwise our app will crash, and we'll just pass the value here. So this word pair card will be used to show this individual card. Now let's return this word pair card and import it. Now it takes a value, so let's set the value, and that will be again word pair dot as Pascal case. So if we reload it, this will remain the same. The layout will be same. And now all of these single cards are a separate widget. So this way your code base will look nicer, and like it will not, you won't have to write everything in just one uh, file. You can separate it out in different widgets and reuse them. Now let's create a list of word pairs, right? So here what we'll do is we'll create a list, and that will be a list of string. This will be words, and we'll initialize it to an empty array. So this is just a naming difference. In Java you use array, or in JavaScript also you use array. So here it is a list. Now what about the state? Like how do we, which is the best way to initialize this words and fill some words here? So for that there is this state object. So basically every stateful widget, we created a stateless widget. So stateless widget does not have any state of its own, and stateful widgets have a state of their own. So basically what we can do is we can call init state method here, which is used to initialize the state of this widget. We can add override, and here we need to call super.initState. So this is used to call the init state of this state class. Now here let's go to the package that we were using. We can create word pairs by this generate word pairs method. Let's copy this and let's quickly paste it here. Now what we'll do is we need to add all these five words that we have generated inside this words list object. So for that we just need to do words dot add all. So it will take a iterable of a string. Now this word pair will give you a iterable of word pair. We will map it, and we will return as Pascal case. So this will give you a string. So this is a word pair object, and this will give you the string. So now there is no error. Now let's how do we use this words inside our list view? So basically we can do is we can use words dot count dot length. Sorry. And what we can do is we can take the index from here, which is provided by the item builder method, and we can use the index here. So now the words that are created, that will be shown inside our UI. So let's restart it. I guess it started in Chrome. Let's hot restart it. So we have one, two, three, four, five, because we are bringing in five words where. Yeah, so this is it. I guess this is good, a good start for Flutter. You can create a list view, and if you like try to scroll it in iOS, this is giving a different effect. It is giving a bouncing effect, and if you are using it with Android, then it will not give you a bouncing effect. So Flutter knows like which platform you are running your app on, and it will automatically adapt to that platform UI. Let me see. So for references, you can use the official documentation of Flutter, which I've shown you. There is pub.dev if you want to use any external package, and then there is a Flutter official YouTube channel also. So you can just go to this channel, and here you will find a lot of videos regarding Flutter and regarding each widget. So basically there is a lot to learn in Flutter, and with a very less learning curve, so you can already get started and build your app. So if there is any doubt or any questions, then feel free to ask. Any questions from you guys? Hi Kirsty, you can definitely go back and rewatch this video, and if you feel like if you get stuck anywhere, you guys can connect with me. Here is my website and my email, so you can drop me a mail. I will be happy to connect with you and like resolve any doubts from you guys. Thanks, Isaac. Thanks, Remy. I won't help you with the app that you are building. I will just solve your doubts. if there is anything related to Flutter and not the app specifically that you are building. Yeah, I guess you can take general Flutter help. There's no harm in that. If you really get stuck somewhere, this pub.dev is a very nice place to go with, or you can just Google for stuff and you will find questions on Stack Overflow or GitHub issues. Anyone else? Any questions, or if you want to know, like you have an idea, or like you don't know how to go through it in Flutter. I said that if you get stuck with any Flutter doubt, then you can definitely go to Stack Overflow and look for answers. Or if you want to implement something specific to your app, you can just see and search for packages, because there is a very active community behind Flutter, and you will find packages for almost everything.